As a mother and someone who co-founded the Julie Foudy Sports Leadership Academy that focuses on teaching leadership to teenage girls, what do you tell them about what they're seeing?
I tell them that we're living through history right now, right? And that this is a moment where we all have a part in how this progresses. And I think, I was listening to NPR's Code Switch the other day, and Jamil Smith, who is a Black reporter with Rolling Stone, said, none of this changes until the people not affected by it actually do something about it, right? And so I talk about that this is a community in terms of our Leadership Academy, and as leaders, and we've talked about this forever at our Leadership Academy, but now we'll have obviously even more of a focus, is just the importance of diversity around the table, the importance of different opinions and different people, and how, study after study in businesses and leading businesses around the world, and not just gender diversity, of course, but actual race diversity around the table, and the importance of that, of just hearing different ideas and being a thought leader. And so we will continue to we're actually working on right now, building into all our curriculum, just relook, which I think is such an important thing to do in this time with everything in my life. We've gone to the podcast and said, how can we better? We've gone to our Leadership Academy. How can we be better here to talk about diversity and inclusion, right? And to really discuss these things. Because, even with my kids, watching and reading, and it's something that I've said that we're going to spend the summer doing. Watching it. We watched 13th, which is an amazing documentary the other day. We watched Just Mercy, the movie. I'm reading Just Mercy. I love Brian Stevenson. Talking to a lot of Black colleagues at ESPN. So it's definitely been a learning process, and we'll continue to pass that on, I think, and I hope, with our Leadership Academies.
Listen, you're around teens a lot more than we are. My wife and I are around 40, and we have one friend who's like 20. I think she's 25 or 26, and we keep telling people her name's Cassie. We say, everyone Cassie and down is going to be fine. I think and you can tell me better than we say it, but they already feel like diversity is ingrained in their brain. Like I'm not nervous about them, I feel. I don't know. Do you feel similarly?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Every time I'm around youth, I'm like, okay, thank you. I needed that. I needed to be around more youth. I'm hopeful. When you hear them talk, when you see them, their activism, their advocacy, I'm like, okay, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay.
Cassie down.
Agreed.
You have an incredible podcast with ESPNW called Laughter Permitted with past guests, Mia Hamm, Katie Ledecky. You're in your third season now. What excites you about sitting down with these women, these powerful women, in such a personal setting?
Yeah. I actually came to the podcast world with a little reluctance because there's just so many out there. I had a producer I did a lot of features with at ESPN who for years has said, and she's my co-host of the podcast now, Lynn Olzawi, you should do podcasts. We should do a podcast, because when you stop the cameras down and we're actually talking to these athletes, that's when all the good stuff comes out, right? And you guys are laughing about old stories, and and there's this, common bond already, being that you played and you're an athlete. So I was like, there's like a million out there. I don't want to do that. And then she's like, come on, just give it a test. So actually our first two tests were with Mia Hamm and Carrie Walsh-Jennings, who are both friends. And Carrie Walsh-Jennings, a volleyball player, stud beach volleyball player for many Olympics.
Sure.
And they both live like 2 blocks from each other in Manhattan Beach in LA. So I said, hey, you guys, can you just do these as a test pod, and we'll run by ESPN and see if they like it? Because, that's the thing with journalism. You just pitch stuff and throw stuff at the wall, and some of it sticks, as we know.
Sure.
And so we sent them those 2 test pods, and they were like, oh, we like this. Let's go. And Lynn was right. Like, it is a forum that actually allows you to talk and to share. And it's very different than lights and camera in a face, and you have to get a quick soundbite in, or you're doing a 3.5-minute piece. So I enjoyed it because you get, it's like you're having a cut. We always bring coffee and donuts, and we're sitting around before quarantine, we would sit around a kitchen table and we would just sit there and laugh and chat. And it was like, we used to do with my teammates all the time. And you get all these amazing athletes from all these different fields and sports. And so it's been so fun, really fun. And we flipped, which is most encouraging to me, which is why we wanted to focus on women. 96% of our ESPN podcast listeners, as you can imagine, were men, right?
Yeah.
Our podcast is 92% women.
Amazing.
Which is really cool, and getting great numbers. And so they're just, ESPN is, of course, thrilled, because that's that market we're always trying to get to. And we're showing that there is a market there for for women in sports.